So I just made a video where I analyzed the accent of an English learner. And this inspired me to do a video on the 5 mistakes that you may be making that really stop you from acquiring more of an American/Canadian accent, especially if you are an English learner that has a strong foreign accent. So if you are an English learner, here are the 5 mistakes you might be making. The first one is pretty simple, pretty basic, and that is not choosing an accent. So if you are not intentional and you just kind of want your English to improve, but you're not really sure which accent you want, like sometimes you watch videos from people in England, sometimes from Canada and the United States, and sometimes from, I don't know, Scotland, and you want to speak like them, you're kind of mixing a bunch of accents together, which is okay if you don't mind. But if you want to acquire more of an American/Canadian accent, a general American accent, you're going to want to choose an accent, that being the general American accent, if you follow me. Mistake number 2, that is too much input from people with, a foreign accent. Again, like I've mentioned in the past, it's not bad to have a foreign accent, but if your goal is to improve your accent, reduce your foreign accent, to have more of an American accent, then you want to be careful where you are getting your English from. For example, if you are choosing teachers that have a foreign accent, you're going to adopt that accent as your own. Or if you only practice with people who are also learning English, you kind of run the risk of adopting their pronunciation as well, which may be counterproductive. I've mentioned this in my free accent reduction framework mini course. So if you would like to have that free mini course, comment framework down in the description and I can send that to you. The third mistake is not identifying the sounds that you mispronounce. So if you don't know which sounds you mispronounce or which sounds are difficult for people who speak the same native language as you, then while you might not be making any progress, and if you do, it would be really slow. So if you really want to effectively improve your American accent, you will want to identify which sounds are difficult for you and identify which sounds you pronounce that don't sound like you're an American. Number 4, fourth mistake is no feedback. Not getting feedback from your English coaches, teachers, or even your friends that are native speakers that are able to help you. Like I mentioned in my accent reduction framework mini course, again, comment framework if you would like it, I mentioned that if you are going to work on a sound to improve, if you're going to target a sound, let's say you cannot pronounce the TH sound, right? So instead of saying this, you say dis, then you're going to target that sound, work on it, practice, and then you are going to get feedback from a native speaker or someone who is qualified to give you feedback. And they're going to be able to tell you, oh, yes, you can correctly pronounce it now, or no, you still need to work on it. Because if you continue to practice and you think you're pronouncing it correctly, but you're not, you're adopting that incorrect sound into your accent. So the 4th mistake is not getting feedback from the right people. And again, this is something that I do for a lot of my students. So if you are curious what kind of services I offer, feel free to check out my website, which is down in the description. So in my accent reduction mini course, I talk about targeting the sound that you need to work on, mastering it, getting feedback, and practicing that sound and making it a habit in your day-to-day language. Because sometimes we can master the incorrect sound, we can hear the difference, master it, but we don't always plug it into our day-to-day vocabulary. So the last mistake, which is inspired by my last accent analysis that I did publicly, where I realized that I was giving him advice on learning how to pronounce the R, but he actually already knew how to pronounce it because I heard him use it in the word improve. And that is, once you've mastered the sound, a mistake that you can make is forgetting to use the sounds that you've learned and mastered in your day-to-day English. Because you can learn the correct pronunciation, but if you don't show that when you actually speak English, in your day-to-day English, you haven't really made an impact on your accent, even though you've correctly mastered those sounds. So if you'd like more accent reduction tips, feel free to check out this playlist. If you'd like to practice your pronunciation, feel free to click this playlist here. Anyways, I look forward to seeing you guys in another video. So take care and bye-bye.